It's Thursday, May 28th. In the headlines, World Bank issues $200 million catastrophe bond for Jamaica. In business news, MasterCard Jamaica highlights fintech opportunities. Regionally, Grenada's Prime Minister Dickon Mitchell urges Africa-Caribbean ties. And in sports, Reggae Boys book Unity Cup final spot with a 2-0 win over India. This is the news on PBC Jamaica. I'm Simone Absalom Gale. The World Bank has issued a catastrophe bond to the government of Jamaica with $200 million in insurance coverage against hurricanes. The bond, arranged through the International Bank for Reconstruction and Development, replaces a previous $150 million catastrophe bond that was fully paid out following the impact of Hurricane Melissa in October 2025. According to the Finance Ministry, the 2026 insurance attracted strong international interest, securing support from 25 global investors, up from 15 investors in the 2024 bond issue. Finance Minister Favour Williams welcomed the successful placement, noting that the catastrophe bond forms part of Jamaica's broader disaster risk financing strategy, aimed at strengthening the country's resilience and supporting rapid recovery after major natural disasters. Under the arrangement, insurance payouts are triggered if a named storm meets specific criteria related to location and severity. The bond is scheduled to mature on May 23, 2030. Major General Anthony Anderson will be leading the National Reconstruction and Resilience Authority, NARA, effective June 1. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness made this announcement during Wednesday's post-cabinet press briefing at Jamaica House.
I was only informed of the end result, so just in case anybody thought that I kept a distance for good reason. The final decision came down to someone who has served the country very well. And the decision was to appoint Major General Anthony Anderson.
NARA, established under newly enacted legislation, will serve as the government's central body for coordinating post-hurricane reconstruction and resilience efforts, with responsibility for reducing bureaucracy and improving project delivery.
And as fate would have it, I had tasked him to review the state's response to Hurricane Beryl, which would have included a review of all the entities involved in the response, but specifically a review of ODPEM. So he is already in proximity to these issues.
A low-level jet stream across the Central Caribbean has been generating very strong winds across Jamaica since Tuesday, with the Meteorological Service of Jamaica warning that hazardous conditions are expected to persist into the weekend. According to a statement from the Met Service, the strongest effects are likely to be felt across southern parishes and offshore marine areas, where gusty winds and rough seas have already begun impacting conditions. The agency said the strong winds are expected to continue affecting the island and its territorial waters through to Saturday. Residents are being urged to exercise caution, as the conditions could result in minor infrastructural damage, including fallen tree limbs and disruptions in vulnerable areas. Fishers and other marine interests, particularly those operating inshore and offshore along the south coast, have been advised to exercise extreme caution. Sea conditions are expected to remain dangerous due to the persistent strong winds, making conditions unfavorable for small craft operations. Tax Administration Jamaica is advising taxpayers that several tax offices across the island will be open on Saturday, May 30, to facilitate month-end transactions. The selected offices, including locations in Montego Bay, Mandeville, Maypen, and Portmore, will offer services such as motor vehicle transactions, driver's license renewals, property tax payments, TRN applications, and other tax and fee payments. Most offices will operate between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m., while the Portmore Tax Office will open at 9 a.m. until 2 p.m. TAJ notes that compliance and audit services will not be available on Saturdays and is encouraging customers to use its online platform for services including property tax payments, traffic ticket payments, and motor vehicle registration renewals. The Kingdom of Debrecen staged a peaceful protest outside Jamaica's parliament this week, igniting fresh calls for the nation to shed its colonial ties and chart a path toward true sovereignty. Marlon Samuels has more in this report.
Human rights, equal rights for all.
Rastafarian human rights group Kingdom of Debrecen staged a peaceful protest outside of Gordon House on Tuesday. They are calling on the government to end colonial rule in Jamaica and remove the British monarchy as head of state.
Our problem is the colonial system that exists. And we the people know that the decolonization treaty, the 1960-15-14 resolution, outlawed all form of colonial government. Under Article 1 of the decolonization treaty, it clearly states the subjection of people to alien subjugation, domination and exploitation constitute a denial of fundamental human rights. It tells every single living being in Jamaica, say look here, they are man, they are England and talk about their own crown land. They might dominate, they might exploit your land. It's a human rights violation. No more British imposter. No more.
The group is also calling for the government to observe the fundamental human rights of all citizens of Jamaica.
1. A higher standard of living. Article 3. Everyone has the right to life, liberty and security of person. That security means their political status. It don't mean JLP and PNP. We the people have the right to self-determination. Under international law, the will of the people shall be the basis authority of all government. We never express no will and desire, so we want a white man to run the country. And we are here to decolonize Jamaica under the decolonization treaty, so our people can have a higher standard of living, the right to life, where our people can know that they are worthy of human existence within the society. And the state must protect our people. Under Article 16, we state that man and woman have legal age of the right to marry and found a family. We as a Jamaican family have the right to own the land where we born and growing up, not some man in England.
I am Marlon Samuels, reporting for the news on PBCJ.
Time now for the business report with Denise Williams.
Welcome to today's business report. I'm Denise Williams, bringing you the developments shaping markets, capital access, and business decision-making across Jamaica and the region. Let's get into the stories that matter. MasterCard Jamaica shared statistics that show consumers are ready to transact digitally. Over 51% of Jamaicans use debit cards for daily purchases, and more point-of-sale machines are in use than ATMs. Since 2017, there has been a 68% decline in use of checks, and 84% of consumers prefer cards for online purchases than wire transfers. That said, significant opportunities remain to expand digital payment acceptance across small and micro businesses, tourism, and transit, helping more businesses participate fully in the digital economy, according to a study by MasterCard and Payments and Commerce Market Intelligence. The event, held recently to showcase the results, was attended by the Honorable Delano Seabright, Minister of State, Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce, who delivered special opening remarks. Two financial institutions have taken steps to become stronger entities. First, Cornerstone Financial Holdings Limited announces that the Bank of Jamaica has granted a license to its company, Barita Financial Group Limited, to operate as a financial holding company. Chairman of Barita and Director of the Financial Holding Company, Mark Myers, described the license as a major milestone for Barita Financial Group and the recognition of the disciplined work carried out across our businesses to meet an even higher standard of group-wide oversight. Myers noted that the financial holding company structure positions the financial group to serve clients more effectively across its ecosystem. Up next, First Global Bank Limited, a member of the Grace Kennedy Financial Group and a subsidiary of Grace Kennedy Limited, has announced the appointment of Brendan King as chairman of its board of directors. King brings more than 30 years of international banking and financial services experience to the role, having spent 3 decades with Scotiabank in senior leadership roles across markets in Asia, the Caribbean, and Canada. In addition to King's appointment as chairman, which became effective November 26, 2025, First Global Bank has refreshed its board with the addition of Septimus Bob Blake, former CEO of National Commercial Bank Jamaica Limited. Commenting on the changes, Stephen Whittingham, CEO of Grace Kennedy Financial Group, said, First Global Bank continues to play an important role in Grace Kennedy Financial Group's long-term growth strategy, and these changes further strengthen the depth of experience and governance oversight at the board level. For the trading period of May 27, 2026, the most actively traded securities were Kintyre Holdings Jamaica Limited with 33,970,910 units, representing 42.52% of market sales activity. Wigton Energy Limited with 5,412,541 units, representing 9.95% of market sales activity. Trans-Jamaica Highway Limited with 4,609,832 units, representing 8.47% of market sales activities. Investor activity remained concentrated in energy, transportation, and distribution plays, signaling continued interest in dividend-producing and strategic assets. Turning to the foreign exchange market based on Bank of Jamaica data for May 27, 2026, Forex traders recorded significant activity with strong demand across major currencies. For the US dollar, trading margins reflected steady liquidity, with the US selling at $156.16 and buying at $158.08. For the Canadian dollar, moderate gains supported by 83-cent transaction spreads. The Canadian dollar sold for $114.39 and was bought for $113.56. For the British pound, continued volatility offered short-term trading opportunities of $1.80 in profits for the bank. The British pound sold for $212.33 and was bought for $210.53. These movements underscore the importance of cash flow timing and currency awareness for businesses managing import costs, debt servicing, or overseas exposure. For our credit report tip of the day, building a credit profile as a dual citizen requires strategy and patience. One of the biggest misconceptions is that credit transfers across borders. In most cases, it does not. Your financial history in one country may not automatically establish trust in another. The key is to start early. Open accounts, use credit responsibly, maintain low balances, and make payments on time. Credit is not about borrowing heavily. It is about demonstrating consistency and reliability. Dual citizenship offers access to multiple financial systems, but that comes with responsibility. A strong credit profile in both countries can create greater access to financing, investment opportunities, and long-term financial flexibility. Credit is more than a score. It is financial credibility. For our funded and focused feature, one of the biggest barriers to financial wealth is capital. Too many people delay investing because they believe they must fund every opportunity alone. But wealth is often built through partnership. Pooling resources with other investors can create access to property, businesses, and other income-producing assets that may be difficult to acquire individually. Shared investing can increase buying power, spread risk, and bring valuable skills and experience to the table. Of course, partnerships require trust, structure, and clear agreements. But when done right, they can accelerate portfolio growth and open doors faster than going solo. Wealth is not always about owning 100% of an asset. Sometimes it's about owning a meaningful share of something valuable. And that's today's Business Report. I'm Denise Williams, bringing clarity to capital markets and strategy. Until next time, stay informed, stay intentional, and keep building forward. See you soon.
In regional news, Prime Minister Dickon Mitchell has called for stronger cooperation in trade and investment between Africa and the Caribbean through expanded economic partnerships that can create opportunities for business, innovation, and sustainable development.
Delivering the feature address at the African Liberation Day celebrations held at Victoria Park in Grenville on Monday, Prime Minister Dickon Mitchell said there is tremendous potential for collaboration in areas such as the arts, education, the creative industries, tourism, heritage connection, youth engagement, and technology partnerships. He said Grenada, as part of the Caribbean diaspora, is committed to building a modern and dynamic relationship with Africa, grounded in mutual respect, shared history, and common opportunity. He added that Grenada looks forward to the day when meaningful connectivity between Africa and the Caribbean becomes a reality.
Of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique, I'm indeed honored for the opportunity to recommit to strengthening ties with the African continent and with the African diaspora worldwide. We will continue to support dialogue, cooperation, and practical partnership that advance the development of our people everywhere they are. Speak to the Grenadian proverb that says, one cocoa, fill a basket. That proverb teaches patience, discipline, and collective effort. It reminds us that great things are built step by step, hand by hand, contribution by contribution. And so too, with one cocoa in mind, we must build the bridge between Africa and the Caribbean. One student exchange at a time, one cultural mission like this today at a time, one trade partnership at a time, one direct chartered flight at a time, one investment opportunity at a time, one diplomatic initiative at a time, one shared festival, one shared classroom, one shared marketplace, one shared vision at a time.
Reflecting on the theme of the celebrations, African-rooted diaspora rising identity reclaiming, President of the Nigerian community in Grenada, Dr. Stephen Oningbinde, said identity reclaiming requires people to examine history, including the impact of the transatlantic slave trade and colonialism, and learn from it. He also stressed the importance of ensuring that younger generations are taught the truth about their heritage and identity.
Ability to look at the history books and tell ourselves something is not right here. Not out of hatred, but understanding that it is our responsibility to tell our own story. And we need to identify that responsibility. That ability to look at the curriculum that we educate our younger ones with, and help them understand the truth of who they are.
Dr. Oningbingi is an assistant professor in the School of Medicine at the St. George's University who has spent 6 years serving as a pro bono consultant at the General Hospital. Christina John, GBN News.
Barbados is being urged to create stronger conditions for private sector investment as regional leaders push for greater climate finance and sustainable economic growth. The call came during the IDB Invest Sustainability Week 2026 conference, where officials stressed that public-private partnerships, macroeconomic stability, and access to global markets will be critical to advancing the Caribbean's development agenda. CBC News' Trevor Thorpe has that story.
Minister Strawn highlighted the need for collaborative strategies that incentivize private sector investment and innovation, suggesting this is the key ingredient to unlocking economic sustainability. His remarks underscored the challenges facing fiscal policy in balancing growth with sustainability goals in the current economic climate.
In matching some of the opportunities within our climate investment plan right across the region in terms of mobilizing not just the financing, but equally having access to the technologies in a predictable way where we can scale up and deliver for our people is really the key part of the solution for achieving ultimately the development agenda that we want for our people. So the private sector definitely has a role to play in delivering that agenda. And I think that we just have to sit down and prioritize and make the space for not just PPPs, but genuine private sector investment to take place in the region. And I think our climate investment plan is certainly a starting point in relation to achieving that.
The conference brings together key stakeholders from finance, government and industry, and Director of Finance at Credit Agricole CIB, Valentina van der Dees, told the panel they know what the investors are looking for.
Nature bonds or blue bonds, conservancy bonds, all type of colors and shapes and forms. They know what they're looking for and they know who can buy it, what are the prices they're looking for, so they can totally give an idea of what could be doable and possible in a case like Barbados.
Director of Economics at the Caribbean Development Bank, Ian Durant, said macroeconomic stability is the foundation of the ecosystem for investment. He said revenue systems have to be right.
In a small open economy like ours, investment also has to be focused on earning foreign exchange and trade. What that means is that all of our countries, not just Barbados, all of our countries have to be able to create that environment that will allow producers to access global markets at a price that compares with competitors, a quality that is demanded by markets, and a reliability that is consistent with the needs of the market.
The IDB Invest Sustainability Week 26 conference continues tomorrow. Trevor Thorpe, CBC News.
We kick off Sports Report with some football news. Jamaica's national football team booked their place in the Unity Cup final after defeating India's national football team 2-0 in their semi-final clash at the Valley in South London on Wednesday. Debutant Courtney Clark opened the scoring in the 8th minute before Kaheem Dixon sealed the victory late in the second half. Jamaica, fielding a youthful and inexperienced squad, dominated much of the contest, with India failing to register a shot on target in the opening half. The Reggae Boys will now face Nigeria's national football team in Saturday's final, a rematch of last year's title decider, which Nigeria won on penalties after a 2-2 draw. In cricket, West Indies women are gearing up for a tri-series against Ireland and Pakistan, and Captain Hayley Matthews says the squad has one clear objective heading into the tournament, which doubles as World Cup preparation. Here's more from Nasira Mohammed.
2 weeks out from the ICC Women's T20 World Cup in England and Wales, the West Indies women are using a tri-series in Ireland as their final sharpening stone, And Captain Haley Matthews says the goals are straightforward.
Yeah, it's going to be a really good test for us before the World Cup, but also to make sure we get any combinations right that we need to. And I guess getting players in the right positions, but also getting players understanding their roles, that when we do get into that World Cup, everyone's just able to execute what they know they have to do.
Matthews says the prep block in Wales, chosen for its similar conditions to World Cup venues, has the side hitting form at the right time. But she says it's not just about wins. Individual performances matter just as much.
But yeah, just to also get the girls in some really good nick before coming down here to Ireland, sorting out, I guess, anything that needed sorting out, batting or bowling wise. And yeah, just getting ourselves in the best possible position to be able to come down here and perform, and then over to the World Cup to perform well too.
With a blend of experience and youth in the squad, Matthew says the senior players have a responsibility that goes beyond the field.
So it's going to be super important, I think, as us older players to make sure that we do have those younger ones under our wing, learning and probably hopefully guiding them in the best way possible, that they can obviously step up and be the future of West Indies too.
The West Indies opened their World Cup campaign against defending champions New Zealand on June 13th. Nasira Mohammed, TTT Sport.
Republic Bank Barbados and Cricket West Indies are helping to develop the next generation of cricket talent in Barbados with the launch of the 5 for Fun program. The initiative, which is geared towards boys and girls at the primary school level, was launched this week in partnership with the Barbados Cricket Association at the Garfield Sobers Gymnasium.
We believe in supporting our young people, both on and off the field. Every participant in this program will receive a Republic Bank Right Start account with an opening balance of Barbados $50. We also want to encourage teamwork, dedication, and excellence through competition and really foster that winning spirit. As such, additional cash incentives will be awarded to the top 3 teams with prizes ranging up to Barbados $200 per student for the winning team. So to all our students, give it your best. Support one another. Dream not just big, but huge.
This program, we ask ourselves, where is the future of West Indies cricket? And the future of West Indies cricket is in this room this morning. What is the 5 for Fun program? The 5 for Fun program is a softball program within the schools. And so far, again, with the help of the National Sports Council, we are targeting 60 primary schools across the island. Now, we know that CWA have said to us that if you get to 48, we do things slightly different in Barbados. And we want to, this program, we want to touch every single primary school child on the island.
This program is not isolated. It forms an integral part of the national strategy for cricket, which sees the Barbados Cricket Association and Cricket West Indies working with the Ministry of Education, the Ministry of Sport, cricket clubs, and other sports and cricket agencies to ensure that the talented boys and girls from this program have the necessary next step training and competitions to continue both group and individual progression.
And that's the news on PBCJ. You can follow us on our social media platforms at PBCJamaica. Thanks for watching.